Good evening. Welcome to my channel, Wildflower Honeybees. For those of you wanting to start beekeeping, I do recommend you get some swarm traps or try to set up some swarm traps. Make your own and get these little tubes. These are slow release tubes. You fill them up with lemongrass oil and you put them inside the box, and the bees they'll smell it, they'll like the smell, they'll come in and move into your hive. As long as you set up your swarm traps around the right time of the year, around March, April. And I bought these. If you want to know where I got these, I bought these at horizontalhive.com. I also recommend getting a couple bee books, and that's Keeping Bees with a Smile. Been really informative. And then also the Backyard Beekeeper. This one gives you actually plans on how to make certain hives. Also, if you go to horizontalhives.com, there's plans on how to make different kinds of hives on there too, for long hives, which are easier on the back. I also recommend raising honeybee queens if you plan to do splits, making more hives than just one, and you want to split it in the spring. You want to make your own queens, and then you want to make your own hives, and that's a good way to get more boxes quicker. And then I also recommend from the agricultural department, from the U.S. Ag Division, is this book, which talks about honeybee diseases. So this is talks about how to diagnose certain diseases. So other than that, the video I'm going to show you is while I was outside with the bees. It's not the best video, as it being my first video, and then I was using an action camera, which is the SD card wasn't working very well. But I hope you enjoy, and I hope you come back to my channel. I'll be posting videos once in a while, not too often, but it's just to share with the community. If you want to learn something new, I've been doing beekeeping for about 6 years. I've had lots of problems with hive beetles. Been the worst pest I've ever had. I've lost many hives to hive beetles. I've learned how to combat them against them. I've used oil traps. I've used lids with clear plastic on top, so that lets the sunlight go through. It would run the hive beetles down, but it was still, once they got dark, the hive beetles will still come back up and then still do disaster. But over a course of time, I learned different ways to try to keep them out. I don't use chemicals in my hives. I don't treat for mites with chemicals. I treat everything with a natural way. So I do have oil traps for mite treatment. I also use other things to keep mites away. I do use peppermint oil in the slow release capsules, and I do have peppermint oil on every corner of every box I have. It does help tremendously to keep the hive beetles out, but there is always going to be a few, maybe one or two, lingering around, which you just pinch off, and most of the time they will run down. The peppermint oil actually causes them to run down, and they'll go into the oil trap and drown. I do also have bee guardians on the front of every one of my hives. They do work. They're not perfect. I've had hive beetles get through them, and so it doesn't keep them at 100%. I've also used beetle busters or beetle traps on top of the frames. They work also up to a certain point. The only thing I don't like about them is you can spill the oil on top of your frames. You can kill a lot of bees that way. You have to always remember to take them off. Gotta constantly cleaning them all the time, and sort of a hassle, but I do recommend if you haven't struggled with hive beetles all the time. I've been able to collect honey this year, and I do have some here just to show you what. And this is my smaller bottle, but I have one that's full, but this is the one I have on hand. But this is a honey I just collected about a week and a half ago. And so you're going to get honey if you keep those hive beetles under control. It's one of the worst pests here in Hawaii. I don't know how it is in other states, but here it's tropical. They reproduce like crazy, and they're flying in the front of the hives. They can come miles from miles away, and they fly into, try to get into my hives like craziness during the spring, summertime when it's warmer up here. Um, Depends what part of the islands you're on. Some islands are a little bit cooler, the elevation you're on, but the hive beetles up here where I'm at, I've seen them try to fly into my hive like by the dozen, and they just try and fly in, find a way in through the front entrance. And I've had up to like 50 try to fly in, and I've counted them. I just sat there and counted them trying to fly in. So it's just a terrible pest around here. It's really hard to take care of, and it's one of the things I've been struggling for many years, and lost so many hives to them. Some hives I bought, some hives were wild swarms. Most of the ones I've had issues with are the ones I bought. They just don't get so used to the hive beetles. Maybe they're just feel like you have to protect them more. They're not, the wild ones seem to be more aggressive towards hive beetles. They attack them and they try to get rid of them. While the other ones that I bought, they've been really super tame. I don't know if it's just for the tameness or just the traits of them. They just don't. They don't seem like the hive beetle is a pet, an enemy to them. And all of a sudden they get overran, and it's just a bunch of worms everywhere, and maggots and everything. So that's one of the pests that's really terrible around here. But yeah, if you can keep that under control, you can keep the other pests under control, then you'll have a good colonies of bees. And I do recommend bees for pollination or for honey, whatever you want to get them for. And they're just nice to they're even for relaxing too. They're really nice to just sit down and then just watch them go in and out. And it's just the nature, And I'm glad you're here to take a look at my video, and let's go on. I'm going to move on to the video. Like I said, there's been a couple spots where it would cut out, so bear with me. Thanks again.